Hello, my dear gardeners. The last step in caring for our roses before we put them to bed, right, at the beginning of December, it's here in Zone 7, coastal Connecticut, is to trim these long canes because we don't want heavy winds of winter to rock the rose back and forth and maybe damage the root ball. Especially it is important for young roses which created just several long stems and maybe their root ball is not well secured into the soil. And also today is the day when I'm going to move my potted rose into the garage. And by the way, I cannot believe that this is almost the middle of December and I'm still gardening and I love it. And this trim is not going to be a heavy one. It doesn't have to be a very precise one. We just want to cut all these long stems, kind of for them not to rock, right? And I don't worry that I cut a bough or under the bud, because in spring, when spring comes, I'm going to trim this rose nevertheless, right? And we do it only after several good frosts hit your area, right? So recently we had, I think, good 2 days of temperature in low 20s, which is a great time to do this process on your rose, the last step. And you can't really do trimming of your rose without nice long gloves, right? The gloves, leather gloves, which goes all the way to your elbows, ankles. Da-da! Why do we wait for first several frosts to hit the area? Because usually the cutting encourages the growth, and when the weather is really cold, rose is almost in dormant stage, and rose is not going to produce new growth for you. Rose knows that this is time to sleep and not to wake up and be dormant for the winter. So this is it. A very easy thing to do. Now let's go and do the same on Olivia Austin Rose. Olivia Austin Rose received nice cookies. I call it nice cookies. It's the compost which I created. I believe I sifted the other day, and I put it around the root ball of my Olivia. Look how tall she is. This is a very strong and healthy rose. It's getting a little bit too tall. Oh, look at this. The last bloom of the season, probably. This area is quite protected here and secure, but still, it's a good thing for a rose not to be rocked by the wind. That is it. Good, that's good. I'm throwing all this into the trash. It does look nice and beautiful. Still, all of these stems can harbor diseases, and we don't want them to carry all those diseases for next year. We want to break that cycle, right? You know what? This climber is well secured. I made sure I tied all those long canes going this way. There is one dead stem here, and I want to cut it out. Let me do that. Actually, 2 stems. And for this, I'm going to use my little handy saw. How does this open? Oh, here we go. All right, let me do this. You see this stem? Old as anything. How do I get to it? Okay. All right, one is out, and there is another here. It's not a good idea to leave stump like this tall. Maybe in spring I will try to cut it really short all the way here to the root. Why is that? Why can't we leave these stumps out? Because rose is less eager to produce new shoots from stumpy areas, so we try not to build them up. And look at the foliage of this beautiful rose. She just decided to change her color. So what I'm going to do, since it's a new rose, it was planted here this spring, and I really don't know what rose it is, so it's a surprise. It doesn't look like it's a climber, it's a shrub rose. And what I'm going to do, I'm not going to trim it severely since it's a new shrub, but if you have rose growing in the pot for several years already, it's good to trim those long canes. What it does to the rose, it signals that the dormancy is here. So I will do probably something like this on this rose. And what else I'm going to do, I'm going to defoliate her. And I will do it with my hands because it's a tricky business here. I want to do it well and carefully. That also is the signal that dormancy is here, and that's what a lot of gardeners in warmer climates do, where they don't have cold weather, to bring dormancy to plants. Still, they want to give rose some rest time, so what they do is they defoliate the rose, they trim it, and rose goes into this at least 2 weeks of quiet time, and then rose starts growing and ready to bloom again. Also a good step is, when we are ready to move rose into a sheltered location, would be to supplement the level of soil, right? Because through the year soil leaches out together with water. This rose was planted here recently, so soil level is pretty good. I'm not going to do anything about it, but usually it's advised to raise up the level of soil in pots for the winter. All right, baby, you're ready to go into the garage for the winter sleep. Good. So it is a good idea to put the pots on something like a support instead of just putting them straight on cement floor. Here we go. And a lot of gardeners do spray the rose with dormant horticultural oil. I'm not going to do it today. Today is enough of job for today. I literally spent several hours in the garden still. Oh, the light went off. So I will do it tomorrow. It's a good thing to do because roses do harbor diseases on their stems, and once we spray not only the rose but all the area around it, we suffocate those spores and they're not going to bother our rose in the garage. Plus we have windows there, so there would be filtered light. I will make sure that this rose is watered from once in a while, and hopefully next spring my salvia and my rose would be ready to bloom. There's one more thing I want to show you. I took my hypertufa pot, which I made several weeks ago, out of the wet storage. Let's see how it turned out. Pot number 1, hypertufa pot number 2. Actually, this is cement pot. And this one, hypertufa number 3. Interesting, it's going to be very white, but I'm going to keep it outside the whole winter, for it to go through all sorts of winter temperature changes, and let's see how it would live through the winter into summer, right? Into spring. And look at my Katrina rose. Beautiful, isn't it? Nice strong stems, and I trained them kind of in this fashion because sun is here, so Katrina will have all the beautiful sun rays to collect through these stems. Imagine. And look at these beautiful little burgundy rose hips. They are cute and small, and there are plenty of them. And by the way, my Katrina rose received a cookie yesterday. Nice soil. She's growing here very close to the house, so I have to watch her to give her extra care, you know. All right, my dear gardeners, enjoy your day, and I will see you in our next video. This stem is gone. Lovely. All right, let's see. I have to water this area. What do you think? Will this thing survive in the pot? This Boxwood is good for zone 5, down to zone 5. Will this thing survive the winter? I don't know. We will see. Happy gardening.